Hey everybody, welcome back to the Low End Lowdown, where we talk about bass, bass gear, and pretty much anything else bass related. I'm Alex St. Kitts, and I've been known to play bass sometimes, except not recently because there's been a pandemic. So throughout this pandemic, I've been really searching for a way to find love in bass again. I feel like a lot of the time I was playing bass as a job. So I asked some friends, what are you guys doing to keep inspired? And one of my friends named Jonathan Coleman, who is an awesome bass player who plays in a band called Muscle Tough that you should all follow, subscribe, and check out right now, said that he was messing around with lots of different pedals. I would see on his Instagram, he'd always be experimenting with different stuff and getting really cool sounds and like having a blast. And his pedal board looks like a spaceship. I'm not kidding, like a literal spaceship. I think he actually has 2 pedal boards that work in tandem. John, correct me on that if I'm wrong. So I got the idea in my head to find something affordable that would make me want to play bass more and experiment and delve into new realms that I had never really wanted to do before. So what I found were these $50 pedals, and I was like, what? So I was doing a session for a friend of mine, and I saw he had these pedals on his pedal board that were super small, compact, sounded great. And I asked him, like, what company is that? Where'd you get these? He's like, this company called Donner. And I was like, I've never heard of that company at all. Fast forward now to 2020, where I'm looking for this inspiration and looking for pedals that won't break my bank. And I come across these. And I was super skeptical, as I'm sure a lot of people would be, at like a $50 pedal, like new pedal. But I gotta say, these are pretty great. So what I got is the Donner Echo Square, the Donner Tutti Love, and the Harmonic Square. So who is Donner? I mean, the hilarious part is when I Google searched them to look up who they are, the first thing that came up is, are Donner pedals any good? And even a couple of forums where everybody was talking about it. And then I went on their website and sent them an email and asked them, like, hey, like, how did you guys start? Like, where are you designing your pedals? And like, it seems like to me they're manufactured in China, which is, could be good or bad depending on who you're talking to. Well, that's enough of the talking. Let's play some of them and hear how they sound. So let's start with the Echo Square first, which is a digital delay that has 7 notches of really cool different things. I'm going to start with all the knobs, which are mix, time, and feedback at 50%, and then, I'll adjust as we go. So here's the digital notch. Next notch, analog delay. We have a tape delay that sounds like this. Then a mod, which from what I can tell is a modulation delay, which kind of like flanges a little bit. Gets like a real like chorusy kind of vibe at the end. A sweep, which is a filter sweep from what I can tell. That's one of my favorites. Next we have... What do we have next, Alex? I don't know, Alex. Let's look at the pedal. The next one that they have on here is pretty interesting. It's also one of my favorites because it's so strange, but it's called Lo-Fi, and it's better if I just show you. It sounds kind of like a bit crusher, but... Also one of my favorites. And the last one, you can't have a 7 mode delay without a reverse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through some settings that I found I really liked, and they go like this. Next up, we have the chorus pedal, which is the Tutti Love, which sounds great. I mean, for $50, like, you can't go wrong. And it has a level, rate, and depth. Let's hear how it sounds. Pretty cool. So let me crank up the depth so we get that intense wobble. Let's crank up the rate. You know, you can be more subtle with that if you want. Take down the depth back to 50% and then take the rate down to like 40, 30%. And you can also crank the level depending on how much you really want overall, like as a master volume. So the last pedal that we have is the harmonic square, which is a harmonizer. I got it to do more octave soloing. When I really started diving into it, I found I could get a lot of really cool sounds as soon as I learned what the notches were. So it's pretty simple. You have a wet and a dry and a switcher that does octave up. The middle doesn't really do anything, it sounds like. And then the down switch does octave down. So let me play you what the different notches on this pedal do. The first one is a tone up, or 2 semitones. I think it says ±2, which I guess means semitones. So, you know, If you're playing an E, it's going to play an F sharp. Except not when you don't have it in the right position. And you can get some pretty funky things out of that. You can also do that octave down. The next notch is 3 semitones or a minor third. I get immediately, my brain goes to the weirdest things. It's pretty cool. And then you have octave down. They get tricky. I really have to map my brain out to figure out what sounds good, because if I start thinking about it theoretically, I'll just get lost. So it's more of a sound thing at this point. Next one is a major third or 4 semitones up. And then an octave down. The next one is a perfect fourth or 5 semitones. Or an octave down. And the next one after that's a perfect fifth, which is 7 semitones up. And then you can do that octave down. And you know, if you forget your POG or your OC2 at home, this thing can get some jobs done. I mean, this is the setting that I originally got it for, which is soloing, and it's octave up. But I mean, you could also double as a pretty cool octave down. And then the last one is 2 octaves above that, which, to be honest, I'm not using it, but I mean, it's nice to have the option. Actually, I lied. That's kind of cool. Now you're going to see me at the rest of my gigs when we come back to do gigs playing 2 octave up bass solos. And then you have 2 octaves down. Not gonna lie, that one's not my most favorite. But it's cool that they could pack so many things into such a tiny pedal. and have it sound decent. So yeah, if you got $50, yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this little segment on pedals. It just goes to show that when you're looking around for something, the highest price option maybe isn't always the option that you need or want. If you like the video, you know what to do. It's YouTube. Click that like button or subscribe if you really like it. I also put out a solo bass record under Dumb Bass. I'll put it in the description. I got my own solo music under Alexander Sane if you want to check that out. And I'm coming back with bass masterclasses, so follow me at Alex and Kits on Instagram. Stay tuned on all of that, and I will see you at the next video.